gruesome, disgusting, misogynistic, racist pig of a person. What the actual, what? I was not expecting to go. Who? Hi, hello, my name is Tianna, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be discussing the wonderful 5-star read for me, which was Blood Trials by Davenport. And I am so glad I was able to read this, and I am so happy that, one, there's already confirmed title for the sequel, and there's already confirmed duology, so that's good news. And I'm hoping that we can confirm a trilogy or a saga, something, because I'm not ready to let this world go just yet. So what's this book about? This book is in the post-aftermath of a war that our main character's grandfather was a war hero and fought the big bad guy, and he was then given this high-standing military general position in the Meridian Society, which is an empire. And this empire, if you're familiar with Roman and Greek setups and monarchies and governments and military, it is very much reflective of that type of militant and governing body. And Meridian has allied itself to win the war that they fought so hard to win by aligning themselves with the Caidian monarchy. And that is a very tribal nation. The Meridians don't quite understand and respect, and this book is littered with racism, misogyny, and gruesome violence that I ate up. I'm not even gonna cap to you. I started this book in April and I finished it this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm a chaotic Capricorn and I was having a blast. I remember being at like page 300 and being like, give me the violence, give me the death, give me the tragedy, because I need it now. And I instantly regretted that manifestation because I wish what happened next upon myself. So our main character, Tianna, her grandfather, as I mentioned, was a war hero. She has been practically bred to be the next generation that her grandfather was hoping to have in this world, and to hope for a better world, to steal from Throne of Glass for a second. And Vern, the grandfather, taught Tianna that just being good isn't good enough. You have to be above the bar. You have to be above the standard. And that's really what being black in America is like. You have to work 3 times as hard to get just a fraction of recognition that you really deserve. And that's what Tianna is experiencing. Now, when he is found dead by a simple mistake, she is gutted. She wants to grieve and be rebellious and just cause all havoc. So she is drunk on the eve of her graduation. She's causing fights with these high-ranking military officials, and she decides she doesn't want to follow in her grandfather's footsteps. She's like, I'm not going to pledge Praetorian, which is the militant high standing in their society, and she's just gonna, you know, probably take a gap year and just grieve and drink for a year. And it's not until her grandfather's bestie, Brock, is like, no, someone killed him, and it probably was one of the guys you'll be in contact with throughout the blood trials. See where this is going? So the entire blood trials, she is now hiding that she is half of a othered magic, which is Pantheon blessed and blood magic or blood gifted, and she is now having to hide the fact that she is trying to commit treason by accusing someone of killing her grandfather, which is a double treason. So and then also she has to survive one of the deadliest vocational trainings you could ever experience. I would describe the blood trials as fraternity, toxic fraternity culture if it was high on US military ideology in Hunger Games, all mixed in one. It is a high-intensity, fast-paced, violent-packed, action-packed novel that I think you will like if you're looking for that. I was looking for it because I was finishing this, yes, but I will say the serotonin that I received from watching The Hating Game for the 2nd time and rewatching Crazy Stupid Love for the 1,000th time really helped me like giggle and be in that schoolgirl mindset, because for some odd reason, I know, chaotic Capricorn, I was laughing throughout this book because shit was just like, oh, it was a mess. There was drama, there was some sensuous sex in it. It wasn't like spicy smut, but it was just like, oh shit, that's crazy. What? I didn't expect that to happen. And it's just a whirlwind of secrets upon lies, upon political intrigue. This is a very special book that I want more people to experience, and I'm so excited for what's to come in this duology, and I'm hoping we can get more in the series. Thank you so much. If you want to learn more about Celine Zane, I could suggest you read this book, because from now on we're gonna go into spoilery stuff. So sorry. And let's commence the spoils, because I don't know if I can contain myself. So can we just start with the ending? First and foremost, what the fuck? What the actual, what? I was not expecting to go, I thought this book would end with us like finding her grandfather's killer, maybe fucking a military high personnel or two, but for us to go like full-on monarchical butterfly cycle revolution was just insane. We are now on the run, and we are committing treason on both parties. We are now in a group of just Cayman, Grayson, Reed, Danica, Haynes, and our main character, Tianna. It's just insane that we've gotten to this point, that all of the trials that we've done up to this point, we are now causing and committing treason. So after the Undie Forest, and Chance, who was this gruesome, disgusting, misogynistic, racist pig of a person, tells Chance and Grayson to kill Tianna at the slightest chance that you can. Tianna knows that she has a target on her fucking back, because she, you know, she's not, They almost kill her, and we are progressing in the story. We're learning more about our Pantheon blessed gifts. We're not learning. We're experiencing these fever moments of like high intensity, draining confusion, where Tianna's like, I can't control this, and I can't let it control me, because if I get caught, I'm dead. SOL. Like her mom and dad and grandfather, unfortunately. Rest in peace. So to not end up like her family, and to set another precedent of dead Amaris in Marine, she has to suffer the consequences of trying to hide her magic, and that is losing the friendship that she had once had between Celine and Zane. Celine, after we know that she might have known, there is this big shift that I feel like if Zane were a woman in this book, his death would have paid off more, because they would have been in more close proximity. We only see Zane when they're in battle, and then when we see Zane, it's again in battle. When we see Celine, it's because Tianna rooms with her, and you know, they empathize as women in this book, especially with dealing with misogyny. But in this world, Celine is part of one of the higher social economical status of this world, and she is part of one of the prominent warhouse of Reason that gives command to the Ypsilon cohort. We learn that her daddy was probably the reason why Tianna's grandfather is dead, and why they have this weapon that can repress blood pantheon gifts. So I think I would have to reread and see how often she takes off her pendant to understand how we even get to that point. But bestie, I was living lavish, because the mess that we still have to figure out in book 2, because Celine and Tianna haven't spoken yet. She's on a different continent, both of them. What is sad is Celine went to go to her father's warhouse, but this entire book she's mentioned how she's under his thumb, she doesn't want to be around him, this, that, and the third. So here we are in this where Grace is like, you're contradicting yourself. So if you always have been this spiteful person, can we see more of that? And then we're also gonna have to deal with like Tianna's, you know, grief of a friendship, not only for Zane because he's dead as hell, and you know, for the death of someone that she never knew all that well. So that's what we're gonna explore in book 2, at least I hope. And in relationship status, we have Reed. There's a night after the advance by combat that Chance wants to have, where you all die by death in, like, you know, fist fights. Luckily, Reed rules him in. He's like, no, how about we just, like, you know, tap out, and like whoever taps out just kicks the bucket. So Tianna and Chance finally had this go ahead. That's been inkling since day fucking 1, because again, he's a racist, homophobic pig. Like, we don't like him. He's all the isms, anti-black, anti-LGBTQ, everything, okay? He probably hates your grandma. If you don't like that, take it up with him, okay? Not me. So they finally duke it out, and they're beating each other within an inch of their lives. And Reed comes to the rescue. They have a lustrous night in their barrack. So romantic, I know. And within the barrack, it's kind of the aftermath of after they have sex, where you're just like, okay, what it do, baby? So she's always antagonizing him about her freaking knife that her grandpa gave her. We then learn that it's his knife and that he's also half black. And I say black because it's all about how you look in this book. It don't matter about where you're from. So that is another thing I would like to explore in this book, because it's colorism that lets you get into these exclusive things, but then the racism that keeps excluded from the actual inclusivity. So we shall see how futurism plays into this world, especially with Tianna having red eyes because of her blood gifts and her pantheon blessed powers. And I think after the betrayal with Mustafa and with Enoch and the war general from Acacia, we're gonna see her develop, which is what I'm nervous, because you're gonna have to have like a good chapter montage for her to understand her powers to the full extent of her ability, unless her accepting the god or the goddess that she prays to gave her the full understanding within just one interaction and acceptance of her, then that's fine. But can we verbally say that so that I can know what's going on? Another thing that I am looking forward to is knowing why Acacia is enemies with both Tianna and with Marine. Marine is obviously wanting to enslave Kiani and Acacia. So we'll see like how enslavement plays a big role into this world. It's prevalent now in seeing how the lower eye people, as Zane was, and how he experienced his socioeconomic prejudices, how he was treated. But as a man, he never lacked for anything, if that makes sense. He never had to fight for respect that Celine and Amari had to earn in this book. I liked how in the trials we have these unlikely friends, and I think if you were on a sports team and if you don't know, the friends that you make because you hated each other but then you bond over hatred of someone else, those friendships are special, okay? And that's what I think Cayman and Tianna are having, because they have this hatred for what the Republic did, and they have this hatred for what the Republic is sheltering their constituents from, because they're evil human beings who only want to profiteer from war for war profiteering. And if you haven't seen Iron Man, that's the whole point of why Marvel's why it was so good with the ending of Endgame, because he goes from this war profiteer to this philanthropist who has he pays for students' college tuitions at MIT. So you see why this betrayal for Cayman and Grayson is so bad. Grayson is Cayman's bestie. And I'm excited to see where the friendships will take in this book. I'm excited to see more about where Danica, Hamish, or Haynes, I can't forget the H one, in more cohort Gamma. I'm especially interested in seeing how in Kiani, I think I'm saying it wrong, in Tianna, there's the Monarch family that Tianna was very close to, and that her grandfather was close to, because the king and Vern, they clashed heads, but they also understood that like some things need to be sacrificed for the sake of civil liberties and civil rights. And if you are not familiar with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and with Malcolm X, I think you can see that contrast there within Vern and within Mustafa. And so this world is so lush, it's so flushed out within this world with the mythology from the first trial, and then also in the last trial within the mountain. It's just everything that could have gone wrong on the mountain went wrong on the mountain, and that's what's very intriguing about how this trial's played out. Again, it's like the Hunger Games on crack if the military and a frat boy made some fucked up shit and said have at it. It's the purge, but it was controlled by like a ring of like controlled variants, and that's what this was going on. That's all I really can talk about this book at the present. I hope I discussed everything that you wanted me to talk about. If not, my comments are down below. We can chat in the comments as well. This is a long-lasting discussion, baby, because the internet is forever. And let's go say I will catch you in the next one. Bye.